What's up, geeks and everyone else? Welcome to Geek Mythology, a podcast brought to you by me, Sal, and my good friend Seth. Also known as Sugi on YouTube. I always end up doing the whole intro when I do it. I'm sorry, Seth.
It's fine, yeah. I mean, I could introduce myself as well. I guess that works. But
Do you want to introduce yourself?
I mean, I've introduced myself for the past 17 episodes, so I'm sure you know me now.
Also, this is literally your channel, so.
But okay, I'm sure you know us, but do you really know us? Is the question of the topic of today's episode.
It's an interesting one.
It's an interesting one. It's going to be slightly different because we aren't going to be talking necessarily about fandoms and pop culture.
Yeah.
Because today we're going to be talking about whether we are normal or not.
And that's it's a strange question.
It's a strange question. I don't know how should I phrase this? I don't really know how we come across to people, right? I feel like...
Oh, yeah, no. Because we've been talking to the same people for the last 3 to 5 years. We don't talk to many new people, to be fair.
Yes, we are kind of in our bubble of...
Yeah. And I don't know where we're looking at normal from, whether we're looking at normal within our school, whether we're looking at normal within
wider society.
The sort of the London area of our age group, whether we're looking at the UK range of our age group, you know?
Or just the whole world, but our age group. So
I feel like the whole world's a bit harder since, depending on where you're from, there's different normals, isn't there?
Yeah. So what would you say what would you consider normal to be?
I was going to say that this is going to be a bit deep, but I was going to say it's somebody who's emotionally stable. And again, that seems pretty abnormal.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm not going to go on to that. That's just the thought I had for some reason. Right?
Okay. In terms of interests, what would you say is a mainstream interest? What do people like? Marvel.
I was gonna say, more so than Star Wars. Well, our age group, Marvel seems normal. Honestly, anybody our age almost seems oh, they've seen Iron Man. They've seen, well, not maybe seen Iron Man, but you know what. But otherwise, I guess football is a normal interest.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
I mean, I don't just like football, but I mean, the last game I watched was the World Cup. And the last game I watched before that was the World Cup where Spain won. So...
the last football match I've seen was I can't even name it. It was the World Cup was when was the last World Cup? 2016.
It was when we were year 9. So no, it was after 2016. It was 2018.
Wasn't that Euros?
No, it was still. It was. I remember this because we watched
Croatia.
Yeah, no, that was the World Cup.
Oh, I kind of don't know.
It happened during our activities week. So the trip I was on, we just had a night where everybody was watching it.
Thing is with football, I don't follow it because I like football. I sort of follow it because of the patriotism almost. I just want to see how the country performs.
I did not really care. It was just sort of we watched it because
everyone else watched it. Yeah.
I guess in terms of there's football. I guess what else is for our age?
Gaming.
As of this, I guess gaming. To be fair, I do adamantly say I am not a gamer. That's something I am not.
We play Minecraft. That's it.
Okay, one, I only play Minecraft because I can't play anything else.
Same.
2, Bed Wars is fun.
Yes. What would you say is a popular game? Because I don't think Minecraft is... Minecraft to me sort of...
Growing up, right? Mm-hmm. For us, COD was massive.
Yep.
Call of Duty. That was massive. Like that was like I remember like going over to my friend's house once and we just played that. It was horrible. Man.
Oh, great.
Oh, the
Okay.
FIFA. Once again, coming back to
I
football.
don't like
FIFA was sort
FIFA.
of a popular game.
It's so
I,
boring.
I,
It's
I don't mind it. I feel like if you get into it, you get into it. Like,
it's fun in the beginning, but like every new release of the game is just it's just the same, but they change the
yeah,
teams around because to
it's
reflect
like
the
some
season.
new feature, right?
Yeah.
Like I know the last game or like the one before had like what was it? It had like a sort of street football feature where you like played football but in the streets.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I think I had like FIFA on the Wii. Like I can
Oh yeah,
remember.
do you know last year when lockdown happened, right?
Yeah.
I think our teacher set us a my English teacher set us a homework to like write an article on like FIFA 20 or whatever it was, and I was like, so this is what you think of us. So this is what you think of us.
But it probably makes sense. I assume FIFA is the popular thing that people our age, our demographic, like play, and
Yeah,
the whole topic of this episode is working out where we fit in like the normal spectrum.
yeah.
Because
I mean, okay. Let me just sort of look at our notes and see like what we should immediately talk. You want to talk about high school tropes? That's something you would like that.
yes.
Actually, wait. Before that, we're gonna completely forget it. The joke.
Okay, yeah, yes. Before,
Let's
yes.
do the joke first.
What has four wheels and flies?
Helicopter. No, planes.
No, it's a garbage truck. Because the flies like rubbish.
Oh, I don't get that. Wait. Oh, what has four wheels and flies? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I just mean planes have four wheels, right?
They have more than four
Um,
wheels. They've got like three. No, it
yeah.
depends on the plane. I think
Yeah, it does.
because like I think planes have like one wheel at the front.
I was talking about like modern sort of like economy plane, like passenger
Passenger
flights with
planes.
like the retractable wheels and such.
Yeah,
Not the propeller planes. Propeller planes had like three wheels, I think.
yeah.
Anyway.
We could ask one of our friends who's a big plane geek, plane nerd.
Yeah, he is.
What's the name of? There's like a name for people who like planes a lot. There's something. Anyway, yeah.
Probably is.
So back to high school tropes, which is what we were alluding to. We've got like there's a few. There's what do we have? We've got
The nerds.
the nerds. We've got the jocks, and
Yeah.
I'd say the
The
music,
cheerleaders.
the cheerleaders,
Oh, like the band.
the
right?
band. What else is there?
You've got the band, you've got the cheerleaders. The
I think that's
the
it.
thing about this is all these high school tropes come from American schools,
America,
right?
yeah.
Like our schools are much. I don't want to say organized because I don't know what American schools are like, but I feel like we are.
Do we
I,
have
I,
equivalent here in the UK? Like,
I guess like okay, if we look at our school, there's the people who play football
wait,
who are on the
okay.
team.
Disclaimer: I wouldn't say our school's normal,
Yeah,
which
it
means
is
that we're
normal.
already in the abnormal side of the spectrum. But anyway,
We
okay.
wouldn't say it's normal because
Let's just say, if you're a sporty guy, you're also a nerd. If you're a music guy, you're also a nerd.
no,
If you're a nerd, you're a nerd.
yeah, it's because okay. Let's put this simply. Instead of like calling out our school's name, it's meant to be one of the smartest schools in the country.
Big brain school.
Whether we agree with that is debatable.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, the point being that like even in our school, we have the people who are on the sports team, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you have the music people in like orchestra and choir, albeit choir is a bit more lax.
I'd say we're part of that, even though we might not be that as musically talented as other people. I'd say we can still scrape into that group of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
band
But then
band people
this was before they started regulating the choirs.
before they started like upping the audition
Yeah, yeah.
requirements and stuff.
Yeah, well, we're there. It's fun. We've talked about it before, like Christmas concerts and stuff. But yeah, we've got like the musics. We've got the sports people. We have like the academic people with like, I guess, especially in the older years, you have like the chemistry society and the physics society. You guys are even planning to launch it, which is
That's
interesting.
classified information, Sal. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, you're launching a deep sea drone.
Yeah, yes,
That's
totally.
totally the current project
And
and not the previous
it's
one.
going to monitor the depths of our swimming pool. That's 2 meters
Yes.
deep to analyze the swimming pool seabed, which is
Yeah.
totally flat.
Why do we say that? That was genuinely the last project. It was called Poseidon, I think.
Is that a Greek god? I
Yeah,
don't know.
Poseidon is the god of the oceans.
Should we have the first episode on Geek mythology where we talk about Greek mythology?
Okay, calm down there. I've only read one Percy Jackson book. I don't know how much I can blabber on about Greek gods.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, yeah, basically, our school does have that stuff, but like every book, it's not like we have people who, okay, I can't speak for the whole school, but I have a feeling that generally most people get along, or like even if they don't get along, they're acquainted. They're not like arch nemesis like the nerds and jocks in American films.
They seem to hate each other and they seem to bully each other a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
it's
I don't
weird,
get
isn't
it.
it? Americans, are you okay?
Like, what do you have against the smart kid? Like,
Yeah, no, like I do feel like if we went to any other school, we'd see this. We'd see like,
do you
okay,
think we'd get bullied given
maybe.
what we like because we're
I feel like I can speak for myself as I've like talked to my friends about. Sorry to get a bit deep, but like I've talked to some of our friends about like some bullying that they've experienced, and I've just been really, I guess, fortunate to not have
yeah,
experienced any
yeah,
bullying.
yeah, yeah.
And I
I
have
guess
you
we're
been fortunate
no,
enough not to?
no,
You
not
have?
really. I haven't
Yeah.
been. We're lucky. Like, I think I feel like our community, the people who are listening to this, the geeks and nerds out there who like Star Wars and stuff. I don't. I can't. I mean, I'm sorry if you aren't as welcomed. I just feel like that because this group of people isn't mainstream, people like to pick on them. And I can't really
Yeah.
speak. I can't really speak on their behalf of you because I haven't
Yeah.
experienced it myself. I don't really
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about. But I'm just trying to say, stay strong. Like,
You are loved.
there are people out here who are thinking about you.
Yeah.
Like, don't
Who talk about it when they're going to
This
war?
is so deep. This is so deep. What I'm trying to say is, don't like not like something just because people
Yeah.
make fun of you. Like, be free to like what you want.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah,
find other people who like the same thing, you know.
yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't mean to be patronizing or anything. I'm just trying
Yeah.
to say, just like in an ideal world, people should like what they want and
Hmm.
shouldn't have to like get bullied for it. Because I think it is a problem. I've heard people. There's this Star Wars YouTuber who got made fun of when he was younger because he likes Star Wars a lot. Like, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't mean to be sad. What was I? What were we going to talk about?
I think it was just sort of how like these sort of tropes we haven't seen them much,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be honest. At least not, I guess in films they're to the extreme. I don't know how extreme they would be in normal like schools and such.
As I said, we can't really talk about this, to be honest, because we haven't
Yeah.
we don't know what it's like. We haven't seen like people get, and I feel like people keep. If you're a geek and you like Star Wars, I feel like you keep it quiet. You don't exactly go out to your friends and say, "Oh, I like Star Wars," right? Because otherwise, I feel like more people would come out and start geeking out.
Yeah. But I feel like things are becoming relatively more normal as everybody goes up there. Like everybody's sort of
but like
starting to like it a bit more.
I think in our school at least, there's people are thinking of like creating clubs and like groups.
Yeah,
Like I know you had your like Beyblade club thing.
yeah,
So this bringing up of new clubs and is sort of like making it public out there that there are people
yeah.
who like anime, who like all this
I just
stuff.
want to talk about this. Like, also the thing with like anime and stuff, it's becoming much more
Mainstream, would you
yeah,
say?
more popular. Yeah, like
Yeah.
there are people in our school who are like maybe like the sports people, and like I wouldn't expect them to watch anime, but they do. They do watch anime,
It's honestly
and
a
that's fine.
surprise. This is what I'm trying to say. It's like I feel like people keep their geek related interests quiet because when you do find out that some guy like Star Wars or they like anime, it's honestly a surprise that you would never
Yeah,
expect that guy to be a geek like you
yeah.
or just a fan.
And like
But
I just like on social media, that's like really easy to find people who like similar things. It's just TikTok because like TikTok's all about just like random people popping up on your For You page, and you can like alter that out. You can sort of like curate your like
yeah, curate your
likes. Yeah,
yeah.
curate your For You page for you. Like anytime I go on my For You page, it's pretty much something geeky, like anime or Marvel or Star Wars. You know.
Yeah. But then that isn't necessarily mainstream on TikTok.
I don't know how, but honestly, like I feel at this point, what people call straight TikTok, aka the dancing, if you get into TikTok, it's not mainstream. It's like I feel like just the combination of like geeks, the LGBT community, the comedians, just like that's what I feel like is just more mainstream.
I in terms of my For You like page, I don't know if it's like very niche or very mainstream, but I do get a lot of these like role play point of view sort of things, like people pretending like acting and pretending to play a certain like job or character. That's what I tend to get. What else do I get? I get like lots of TikTok is so diverse. Like I can't really point out what is popular and what isn't because everything
Yeah,
seems to be popular.
I feel like I guess in terms of school,
In terms of okay,
when our school itself wouldn't be the most normal, like I don't know, school that you'd find,
yeah,
right? But we're not like okay, I don't know why this just we're not private schools who keep their own private flamingos and stuff. But
oh, no, we're not one of those
yeah,
really posh.
we're not like the posh schools, but like I guess
I
like
was a bit confused. Like, wait, schools have private flamingos? Like, where did that
yeah,
come from?
wallabies and such. I've been to like a private school before.
Wait, what?
Oh, as in like sort of like after the first exam, you're going to get called back for an interview in some private school. That sort of thing.
Okay, and they had a private flamingo collection.
What? Wait, what? I'm sorry, you just cut out and you came back with flamingo collection.
So, and this private school had flamingos.
Yeah. Of course I don't want to say in school, but like after the exam, some private schools sort of like interview you and stuff,
Yeah, but like
right?
they have flamingos.
Yeah, wallabies and such. Yeah, I didn't see the wallabies, but they have peacocks. That's for sure.
That's absurd. I can't. A school having like such exotic animals. What is like a zoo?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Well, to be fair, the
Wow.
school itself is part of like a foundation, so like multiple schools together. So
I'm
also it's a private school. People
yeah.
pay to go there. So
Yeah.
some of the money's being put aside for this.
I just thought that private schools like had like maybe a giant field and stables and like horses and stuff, but like flamingos,
Yeah.
peacocks.
I guess that's sort of like what you get in media, right? Like in private school, you get taught like all the extra stuff like horse riding and fencing and sort of stuff. But
Yes.
I don't know how true that is. That's like rich
Probably.
schools, not private schools. There's the difference. But yeah, I feel like in terms of school, within our school, we're normal. Within other schools, we're probably less normal, sort of. Even within our school, we're sort of within the more niche group of people.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we can certainly say some of our friends are interesting.
Oh, okay. That's an
I'm not going to call
interesting
anyone out,
adjective.
but yeah, they're interesting is one way to put them. But I feel like that's all we can really say about
There's nothing wrong with being interesting. There's nothing wrong with being a
yeah.
geek. Like,
As long as
be
you're
who
not
you
hurting
want.
anybody.
Be
As long as you're
yes.
not as
As
long
long
as you're
as you,
not
as long as
causing
it's not
anybody harm.
illegal. As long as it's not like bad.
What illegal things are these? What are you indicating that our viewers are?
Well, what if you have I don't know, an interest in carrying knives? Like, oh yes, I'm just very interested in that sort of stuff. Yeah.
God.
No, don't do that. Like, no.
Anyway, I feel like the next thing like on here, like on the notes, is very interesting. We sort of mentioned it within Harry Potter last year, last
Wait,
episode.
wait,
Wait, do you want to say
Yeah,
something
oh yeah,
before?
yeah.
Personality test.
So you were going to talk about Hogwarts houses, which we sort of talked about
And
over
like also like
and
you mentioned like the
personality.
this is like the most popular website with the Myers-Brigg test, which is 16 personalities. And
Yeah.
I actually went to my email and searched up the two emails and my results for the two times I've done it.
So
And
yeah, so the Myers-Brigg personality test is like this quiz you can do, and it like gives you this 4 sets of letters which mean something. I think so. Like there's I and E, introverted and extroverted. Then there's like a bunch of other letters that also mean something. But it just tells you like what sort of personality you are.
mhm.
And yeah,
Sort of, and then there's Hogwarts houses, which are like much more general
they're much.
and
There's
like
only 4 of them.
yeah.
Whilst with the Myers-Briggs test, there's like 64 combinations. If there's 4 times, I'm gonna do
I
some
know there's
maths.
6. Are you talking about the Myers-Briggs thing?
Yeah.
I think there's like 6. There's like
Oh, there's 16 different types. I mean, it's in the name.
there's 16 different like
16 personalities.
personalities. Yeah,
I'm a bit. Sometimes I am a bit like dumb in the sense that
yeah.
it's in the name, and I still don't realize. And I actually got out my calculator to calculate. Remembered,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
there's 16 of
I,
them.
I've done this test twice, and there were very minimal changes, being like
Yeah.
in the percentages of like stuff. But I
So,
still got the same. But I think you changed, didn't you? The 2 times you did, right?
so when I first did it, I got INFJ. Introverted. I don't know what N stands for.
I'll
Something.
go look it up. I'll go. I'm on the thing.
And then the second
So what
time I
did you
did
say?
it, INFJ. And then the
FJ.
second
Yeah.
time I did it was INTJ. So they're quite similar.
Uh, yeah.
Basically, I'm a quiet guy.
Yeah.
I like things to be organized. So like I'd like to have like a schedule or like timetable of things. Like if I go on holiday, or like just go out, I'd want to have an itinerary with like precise times and stuff.
Yeah.
That's
The,
just
the two you got, the first one is called advocate, and the next other one's called architect. So I guess they're like sort of similar in terms of mind,
yeah,
sort
in
of
terms
planning
of
stuff.
planning
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, that what did you get?
The 2 times I did it, I got the exact same thing in terms of the result, which was INFP-T, which is like one of the mediator things. And
Okay.
to quickly sort of read what it says for me is poetic, kind, and altruistic people, always eager to help a good cause.
Do you like helping a good cause? Like I feel like you are the type of guy who would. You are
I mean, I
really
do like
kind.
helping people.
Yes, like in
Thank you, thank you.
you would go out
It's
your way
good.
to help. Like that one assembly where you set out the chairs for people. Like that is
Yeah, I just kind of always do that kind of
that's just being that's just you don't even expect like to get praised or get paid. You just do it out of kindness and helping people.
Apparently, I'm like Tom Hiddleston.
I don't know
Yeah,
what Tom Hiddleston what he is like. I just know
yeah. No,
he plays
I feel
local.
like what's interesting about 16 personalities is like above like giving you the type, they give you like a percentage per se of like it's between like introverted and extroverted, between intuitive and observant, feeling and thinking, judging and prospecting, and assertive and turbulent. So like that's also interesting. It kind of gives you more depth. Not that these should be taken literally. These should be just taken as like, oh, that's cool to know. Sort of thing.
You know what's interesting about my personality? It says here on the website for INFJ that I'm sensitive to criticism, and I'm like, wow, that is very true.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what I find interesting about mine? It says I've become more introverted over the 3 years gap that I took this. Supposedly.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I feel
But
like
apparently
I've
I
opened
became
up.
apparently I became less feeling and like sort of more balanced in terms of thinking and feeling,
Mm.
which is interesting. Because according to this, before I'm gonna see if I can actually open this. It said I was 82% feeling, and now I am 53% feeling, which is okay.
You
I
like
guess I'm not as empathetic
feeling.
as I thought I was. Feeling.
Feeling.
I know there's a Unifog also has this sort of thing as well. The Myers-Brigg.
Yeah, so like Unifrog is this website where we're supposed to be like checking out because we need to
Yeah.
be we need to be concerned about our future. We need to start considering about like universities and careers, and there's a personality quiz which you can take to know what sort of job you'll be good at. That's basically it.
Do you know that quiz? Do you know why I did like that quiz? Like one time I took it like maybe 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I like the questions it had. It had much more like interesting questions than like the 16 personality one. Because I think there was one thing about like, do you often like daydream and stuff like that? And I was like, I feel called out. I might actually do that quiz a bit later, the Unifog one, because I know we got new accounts.
I don't daydream. Like, one question was, do you fold the pages of a book or do you use a bookmark? And I don't know how that's supposed to be an indicator of your personality, but
Do you know
I
what's
am
funny about
neither.
that, Seth?
Yeah, sure.
Do you know for me,
Yeah.
with the for me with the book thing, I don't do either.
Yeah. I use
I just
my
remember.
phone.
I
Oh, you
remember.
remember? Oh.
Yeah. Like, you know when I used to read books a lot, I
Yeah.
just go around, flick to the approximate place I was what, look for the words I recognize, and there I am.
You know what I
That's
do?
what I did.
This is what I found. I rarely like stop at a random place. I always read to like the end of the chapter, and then I could easily find the next chapter.
Yeah, that's also fair.
So that's why I always say it's not just with books, like with movies and stuff. My sister somehow can like if there's a movie on TV and it's already like halfway through, she can like happily pick up from halfway and watch the rest. And I'm like, no, I need to see the whole thing. Like I'm just not going to bother watching half a movie. I need to see the whole thing. And it's the same with like finishing. I'm not going to like see the first half and then watch the rest later. I kind of have to like get through chunks. It's the same with books. I have to read the whole chapter. With movies, I have to watch the whole thing.
I suppose like the Unifog is just another version, but I guess it's meant to be full in terms of like it's meant to like look at your personality and tell you what sort of jobs you do. Maybe.
But the weakness of Unifrog's personality test is it doesn't talk about the love,
the what?
the relationships and the friendships that your personality.
You said love. I thought you said like
I'm just reading what I'm supposed to be like.
Oh, are we just gonna go over this now?
So apparently I'm gonna be I'll take it seriously, and I'd prefer to have depth and meaning rather than.
What are you talking about? The romantic relationship one?
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to briefly talk about Hogwarts houses and our houses.
Oh yeah. So what's you're Hufflepuff, right? Which makes sense because you're kind.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I have talked about it, but if you want to, I do quickly say something about my first time.
Okay.
The first time I took the quiz, I was like the kid who like just started watching the films. I wanted to be Gryffindor, right?
Everyone wants to be Gryffindor when
Everybody
they're
wants to be
younger.
Gryffindor. And I took the quiz, the first. I think this was like around when I was like 10 or 11, right?
Okay.
And sorry, I'm also looking for like just what the houses mean and on the website.
Gryffindor's all about like chivalry, bravery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, my point being, I took the quiz. I got Hufflepuff the first time.
Okay.
Back then, there was a sort of loophole where you could reload and redo the quiz.
Yeah.
And I retook the quiz, I think, at least 3 times.
Okay.
Least, right?
And they were all
Got
Hufflepuff?
Hufflepuff every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I redid the quiz recently because they allow you to redo it because of the app and stuff, right?
Okay, yeah.
And guess what I got?
Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
There's no escaping it. At this point, I just embrace it. It's like Hufflepuff's the nice.
So I've taken the quiz multiple times. Like I didn't know before the app and after like the early Pottermore like site, you could only do it once. So I ended up making like 3 accounts with 3 different emails. Or maybe 2 accounts to 2 different emails, and I think I remember at some point I deleted an account, then used the same email to make a new one, like another time. And yeah, I got like Gryffindor 90% of the time. I think there was one time I got Hufflepuff, but it was mainly Gryffindor.
Yeah, I took the quiz before Pottermore became an informative site. I took it back when it was like a sort of gamey site, sort of like for like fun and stuff. With, like,
my childhood was built around online browser games, and those like CBBS and CBBC would have games, like the the TV channel like websites would have games, and then you'd have like Friv and other sites that had games. So like, is that still a popular thing now? Seeing as like Flash is gone, R.I.P. Flash.
Oh yeah, Rip Flash.
Our browser games.
I feel like kids nowadays, for some reason, they have their phones and stuff as well.
They have apps and things, don't they?
Yeah, and they obviously have. I don't know how much kids. I'm pretty sure like a 10-year-old now probably has like at least an iPhone.
I guess most people have like consoles and stuff. They can like play like proper games, I guess.
Cries in never having console.
I only had a DS and a Wii, and but before then, browser games.
I feel like these sort of personality things. The Hogwarts one are definitely more fun. It's meant to be sort of like a very sort of fun, representing your in-universe sort of house and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of fun. While the 16 one, I guess sometimes it can be a guide to like how you should, but in the end, you should still act like yourself instead of like.
You shouldn't be like influenced and like labeled. If you're labeled as something, you don't necessarily have to like fulfill that prophecy. That makes sense. Like if it tells you that you're this type of person, you don't necessarily have to be that type of person. You can still choose what to do.
Yeah, we've talked about this sort of stuff a little bit, but I feel like we don't normally. I feel like if we move on, right, Seth? I was going to say, we could talk about something we don't normally talk about, our normal lives, whatever that may be.
The non-GEEK life that we live.
Is there ever such a thing?
Do we have a alternate persona where we are more normal? That is the question.
Absolutely not. Absolutely bloody not.
Anyway, so what do you do other than watching anime and movies?
Other
than being a geek, what do you do?
What do I do? Do I do?
Or is your life simply?
It's funny. Like my friend Zach and I in like the Discord server, we briefly talked about like how technology is a very big part of our lives, and I feel like, to be honest, even without lockdown, I would be in my room all day watching anime and cartoons.
So that is your life.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I don't really.
You know, my life is also quite similar. Like, other than maybe school, like everything else is.
There's probably the chance. You probably You probably talk to your family a bit more than I do. You probably interact with your family a bit more, right?
Yeah. I'd say maybe, sure.
Yeah. I make tea for my mother.
And that is,
Yeah, it is interesting. Like my sort of life is very much like revolved around sort of watching this media
yeah.
and stuff.
But like if we go back in time, back to when school was open, and like we were doing stuff outside of our rooms and outside of watching.
School gave us something to do, and that would be, I guess, the main thing was Tuesdays and choirs. We've talked about choirs.
Yeah, choir was like, in terms of what we got involved in at school. We aren't necessarily sporty. We wouldn't like exactly represent the school sports wise. I wouldn't say we represented the school much academic wise, given like some people got scholarships to go to America, like that guy.
Wait, what?
That guy, like,
oh, you mean like
older
people
than
older
us.
than us?
Yeah,
okay, good.
Like
I was
that
about to say
who found a cure for Alzheimer's. I'm like, wow.
Like, wanting a cure for a disease or something, didn't he?
Yeah, and I'm like, wow,
one guy?
Well done, GG, good for you. I am inspired.
There's also the Kickstarter boy with his frog thing. That was cool.
Yeah. I was actually quite inspired by like the people I shouldn't say her name. The people that our DT teacher like sort of worshipped and made a huge fuss about. But these guys were
so, to be fair.
Rightfully so, because these guys were really talented and they made amazing stuff.
Not only talented in this, but like they sort of took that stuff further as well.
It wasn't like just the school project. They made a business out of it. Like they invented like cool technology and won competitions. Yes. But like in terms of what we've done, choir. That's it. I guess.
I feel like the original draw was missing out on a whole day of school.
Was that your was that our motivation to miss?
I feel like that's one of the things I was like. The rehearsal days seem fun as well, like, and
because
also
like
choir itself.
I guess that's the main attraction of joining choir or a music group, is that you miss a day of school to rehearse for the concert.
Of course, that's changed now. They sort of have like slots, and
but like
for
before,
me personally, before for me personally now, I'm not the school only stuff like a cappella and stuff, so like I kind of don't have that sadness, but it's still fun. Like, it's very fun, and like, it's sort of just a nice thing to do.
Choir is always fun. It's a laugh. It's back to the cults. I'm bringing back cults again. So here's a story. I should have mentioned this in the cult episode a couple episodes ago, but anyway, in a cappella, it's not necessarily a cult, but I guess there is an initiation process of getting through the audition. Okay, so that's step one. And then we have this like inside joke, not necessarily a joke, but there's this ritual that we do like before we start singing. Okay.
What?
Yeah, the ritual is one person has to buy Percy Pigs. And
it's this a cappella.
Yeah, and then you share out the sweets to everyone. The music teacher gets the first pick and opens them up. That's always how it is. And there's a name to the group of people. It's a cringe name. Do you want to hear what it's called?
No, yeah, go ahead.
The Hood.
So who came up with this name?
The music teacher. So initially it was the Brotherhood, right? Initially it was the Brotherhood, but seeing as there were a couple girls, we wanted it to be gender neutral. So we got rid of brother, and it just became the Hood. It sounds like a gang.
So now I consider: do I even try and attempt to try and get into a cappella, or do I leave? So I do want to try and be an a cappella. I'll be my lack of talent, lack of just
You'll be there to
I'm surprised that I'm like, the teachers are awfully nice, to be honest, in terms of choir.
You know what? I thought the music teachers were pretty scary when I was in lower school, but once you get to know them and once you please them by buying them Percy Pigs every like they become quite nice people.
I feel like that's not pleasing them, that's appeasing them.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
you've definitely like sort of helped out school a bit more with that enterprise.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I mean, I don't exactly know why I did that. I just felt like it was a cool thing to do, like help run this. It's like one of those team building, like seminars, like you know that like.
Yeah, it's sort of like meant to be sort of a day where like
I guess businesses and companies have them, like team building, like events where you do something.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, and I helped run it with our business teacher, and he gave me a free gift card at the end of it for my services. But yeah, that was fun.
I think one thing I would like to talk about is maybe on another episode we can expand if we had any funny stories, but with camping trips and food trips.
We'll talk about that in another episode because we're running
we
low on
might
time.
run out of time. Yeah,
but yeah,
I feel like we should get you to talk briefly about the sports thing you wanted, because I can't talk myself.
Yeah. I just wanted to wrap up with Enterprise. Business teacher. You know him, he is the eccentric. If you're in our school, you know him. He's the funny guy who's a bit. He's not normal, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
Like, this is about.
His lessons are always fun. He's Enterprise Day was fun. I love that experience actually. Anyway. Yeah, so sports, back to sports, seeing as we started with sports. I'm not into football, but I am into motorsport, specifically Formula 1, which is like the top tier like racing sport.
Yeah. Worldwide.
Worldwide. Though yeah, it's worldwide. What I was gonna say, like, do you want me to talk about my history with the entire sport for the last about 5 minutes?
Into it, yeah.
So apparently, I was like 2 or 1 or like a baby, and it was on TV because my dad was watching it, and apparently I sort of watched it and got interested and like perked up and watched it on TV more so than like a cartoon. So apparently I was just like exposed to it at a young age, and I sort of got interested. I was never really a giant fan per se. Like I watched Formula 1 casually like over the years in my childhood. At most, the most I got into like Formula 1 was when I got like this Lewis Hamilton like hoodie when I was in year 3. That was literally it. Other than that, I really just watched it casually with my dad, and I just didn't really care too much, especially recently. Well, like in the past 5 years, but like very recently, in the last couple years, there was this new team, old team that like became relevant again because lots of investment and stuff went into it, so it became like a front-running team again. McLaren F1 team, they had like a really tough like past few years. They were like always last place, and they were really slow and really like no one cared for them. But then yeah, they became like a great team again, and they had a new driver. They like hired this guy who's only 5 years older than us, and yeah, this guy called Lando Norris. Fun guy, he's a Twitch streamer, he's super relatable.
Lando,
yeah, like
Lando.
It reminded me, there was this like video on YouTube. It was one of those like wired like questions where you get given this board of like Google. It's like a Q&A thing. It's kind of like Google Autocomplete almost. But basically, one of the top search results was, were you named after Lando Calrissian in Star Wars? unfortunately, no, but like, still, Lando's a cool name. Anyway,
Yeah.
he's a great driver. He streamed Star Wars Squadrons at some point. That's how I got into his Twitch and started like following his Twitch. But yeah, more recently I've been following Formula One, mainly on Twitter and like just watching videos about like the behind the scenes sort of things, like learning about the politics, the engineering, the driver sort of market, sort of similar to how people in football, interested in football, are also interested in like footballers and like which teams the footballers are getting hired for. So that sort of thing I've been getting interested in recently, and it's this year in the 2021 season I've definitely taken more of a interest, in the sense that the season hasn't even started. They haven't started racing yet, but I'm already like keeping up with the news and stuff like that, the merch, the thing, that sort of stuff, basically. And I'm pretty excited because I hope that the team that I support will do well, go on McLaren, and yeah, that's basically my relationship with Formula One. It's not something I usually talk about because I don't really find people with interest who also have the same interest. I think that's the main thing. Like,
I think like I this is just random. I saw this tweet yesterday, like and it asked about like, oh, what's this like niche fandom you wouldn't expect me to be in, and comment down below. And I saw my friend say something, but I kind of replied saying I don't really have that, but now when I think about it, for you, it's Formula One.
Yeah, like I never talk about this interest, like, because I just don't know anyone who also likes it, or if they do like it, they're too casual for me. Like I can't really have a discussion because it's just
I mean, for me, like I replied to that tweet literally saying like, I'm literally all Minecraft cartoons and anime, and I say like maybe one thing that if you're talking about is niche, and I'd say it's something I don't have anybody to talk about, is probably like just this one cartoon series I can think of being like or like something that's still is ongoing, right? And I can't talk to anybody about it because nobody else has seen it. Would be this thing called Tales of Arcadia, which is like it's a saga of shows called like Troll Hunter,
Troll
Below,
Hunters,
and Wizards, and it's getting like a finale film this year. Yeah. So like that's the one thing I don't have anybody to talk about, and it's ongoing. Right? Yeah. Otherwise, it's probably stuff like Power Rangers, because like nobody our age watches Power Rangers anymore.
I just want to bring up Zach. Yeah. We've mentioned him quite a few times, but I do talk to him sometimes about like not necessarily Formula One, but we're both into like, I wouldn't say esports per se, but like sim racing. So like another aspect of Formula One is like the sim racing, the esports, and he doesn't necessarily follow Formula One racing esports itself, but he is interested in like other like racing simulation games. He follows this YouTuber. Doesn't Zach play like this truck simulator game? I sometimes see it in his Discord.
Oh yeah.
It reminds me of another time where like Lando Norris and a bunch of like other Twitch streamer F1 drivers, they were racing with lorries.
Oh.
You know, don't try that in real life. Don't race with a lorry.
Unless it's like in a straight line, maybe. And don't try like,
but not in like the motorway. Do it on like I don't know, at a racetrack. Anyway, moving on to the next section of the podcast, Autocomplete. And today's letter is the letter Y. So I'm just going to quickly type in that into my Google search bar. Oh my.
If only my Google search bar would come up. Oh, there we go.
Okay, I'll start. So the most obvious thing that came up was YouTube, because I spend lots of time on that, and Other than YouTube itself, I also have YouTube comment finder.
What?
It's really weird. So this piano YouTuber called Joe Jenkins.
Oh no, I've never heard of him. No.
So he plays anime like songs in public on his piano,
like meme songs as well.
And recently, like a month ago, as of recording, one of our friends or people from school like cameoed in the video.
Yeah.
And he played like Naruto, I think.
He played a Naruto song, yeah.
And yeah, so he played that song in the video, and then like literally today, this morning, someone in this WhatsApp group I'm in like discovered like him in the video. We only now, like a month later. Us two, we knew about it like when it came out. Like even before the video came out, we knew about it.
I'm in like a different server with him, and he immediately went, "Yo, guys, I just saw Joe Jenkins."
Yeah, so we knew about it before Joe Jenkins uploaded. But then like this group on WhatsApp discovered just like this morning, today, and yeah, I decided to find the comment. There was a specific comment.
Oh yeah. Like the ones like we're calling him cute and stuff.
A specific comment of like simps, and I was like, let me find this. I want to share this. It's a funny comment. So I went. Oh god! But like YouTube, so it's really hard to find comments on YouTube, like specific comments. So that's why I searched up like, YouTube comment finder. It was basically
like these guys which were calling like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were calling him like a kid and like how he was cute and stuff. Like I can imagine they're probably younger than him, honestly.
I don't know, probably.
Yeah. One thing you've got in common with them, why is because of Valentine's Day is Easter Vampire Day, which is actually I was so disappointed in you when I found out you didn't know what I was going on about.
And I have trouble saying it as well. Eastan Pavia, right?
Eastan Van Pavia.
Van Pavia.
Yeah, basically, this is something that was like early sort of joke, as in like the Friends version of Thanksgiving on like the Popcorn Culture podcast, and I didn't realize you started listening to it just after.
I didn't get the inside joke because I didn't like.
Basically, in Finland, it's the day of Valentine's Day, but it more directly translates to Friends Day. And so, like, Ben and Jay on Popcorn Culture made like a whole like tradition around and just called it Easter Vampire Day because it was like Friends Day, and they called it Friendsgiving. So, like, it just worked. Yes. You actually have another interesting random thing with the letter Y. It's because I was reading this webtoon, and in this webtoon, everybody has their own special powers, like related to like something in the real world. Sometimes, right?
Okay.
So, like this guy had like a Korean general who was really famous for like having a really powerful fleet and having a really powerful boat or something called like the turtle.
The turtle.
Okay. So that was just something interesting. I was like, this sounds interesting. I want to actually search it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's based on a real life commander. So I was just like, that would be interesting too.
Yeah.
Search up. If anybody is interested, his name is Yi Sun Shin.
Nice.
If anybody cares.
Anyway, what is next? I've got something new which I want to try out, and I don't know how well this will work. But we'll see. Let's just it might work, it might fail. So this last section of the podcast, which will temporarily replace question of the day, is called.
What in the world?
We need a name. We need a name for this new section. But anyway, it's called Fanfiction reading. That's our temporary name. This is the debut of fanfiction reading, and this first fanfiction that we have is called Letters by DeFemme. And the summary is this: Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan find themselves in a difficult situation and discover ways to pass the time and things about each other. It's called Letters.
This is a fun game. You should try. Okay, who do you want to be, Obi-Wan or?
By the way, in this timeline, Obi-Wan is 14. Should I be Qui-Gon?
Oh, okay, you be
Wait,
Qui-Gon.
can you do a Scottish accent? Because then you could be Obi-Wan. So this fiction is like inspired by like those games you play when you're like traveling and you like name everything beginning with a specific letter.
I'm not. Hang on.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's Obi-Wan who starts, right? If you look at it, Qui-Gon is 5th, so Qui-Gon starts.
Qui-Gon starts, so I'll start. Topaz.
Tropical.
Terrestrial.
Tatooine.
You can't use... Why did I do Scottish? Anyway, you can't use Tatooine, Padawan. I should do a raspy, like, old voice, shouldn't I? Anyway.
You're right about one thing, Master.
Wait, where's that? Wait.
The negotiations were short.
Are you just searching up lines?
Why not?
It's a planet. So you can't use planets, names, or numbers. It's the rules.
Okay, fine. Tertiary.
Oh, good one. I am doing a really bad Qui-Gon impression, by the way.
I feel like Qui-Gon will be like, oh, good one.
Oh, good one.
I don't know what's... Oh, thanks.
We already used thanks.
I'm well aware of that, Master. Termite.
Traffic.
Terror.
Terrorize.
I just used terror.
You're allowed to use a form of the same word, Obi-Wan.
Cheater. What kind of game is this anyway?
I used to play this quite often with my friends when I was younger, Obi-Wan.
Wow, you must have had some really boring friends.
Padawan. I think you meant
Typography.
Tap.
Tapping.
Typecast.
Trench. Much like the one we are stuck in, ironically.
Very funny, Obi-Wan. And we won't be stuck for long. Someone will find our tracking signal eventually.
Like Yoda!
Much to say about that, I do. Yes!
Oh, tracking!
No, I get credit for that one.
Damn.
Language, Padawan. That'll be an hour of meditation when we get out of here.
Hey, be easy on me, I'm injured.
You have a concussion, Obi-Wan, which means you have to stay awake. Which is the only reason why we are playing this ridiculous game in the first place.
And because you were bored?
Time.
Treacherous.
Twi'lek.
I thought you couldn't do species.
No, just people's names. Species are okay.
Oh, trench coat.
That's 2 words, and we already used trench.
Damn.
2 hours.
Tsunami.
Nice one. Tornado.
Turpentine.
What?
I said turpentine.
Not gonna lie, I don't know what that means. Well, tertiary.
I already used tertiary.
You did?
Yes, after you said I couldn't use Tatooine. Speaking of which, tattoo. And it's still your turn.
A trick.
Transsexual.
Padawan!
It's a word, look it up.
A difficult task considering we're buried under rubble.
With no dictionary, whatever shall we do?
Enough of your cheek, Padawan. And where in the universe did you learn all of this vocabulary?
I'm almost 15, Master. It is my duty in life to find as much disturbing vocabulary as possible.
Is that so?
Yes, and it's still your turn.
Fine. Tongue. Maybe we should play a new game.
No, you're just... Do I say it? I don't know. No, you're just soft because I'm winning.
What you're doing could hardly be considered winning, Padawan.
Fine, a new letter then.
How about S?
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna put that dolphin like bleeper sound just to like make it obvious what. I think that's enough, right? Wait. No. Oh my gosh! This it goes on. Ting.
We're almost done. We're almost done.
Maybe we should stay with T.
Fine. Torrential.
Triangle.
Tampon.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's so word.
You're pushing it, Padawan.
But it is a word.
I'm well aware it is a word. I just don't, well...
Are you embarrassed, Master?
Of course not.
Yes, you are.
No.
Then what's the problem?
Padawan, you are truly you truly are infuriating.
Is ting a word?
No.
Darn.
Language, Obi-Wan.
That's not a foul word.
Just say a word, Padawan.
Aha, T-E, never mind.
Never mind what? What are you snickering at, Padawan?
Nothing.
Obi-Wan.
What then? I just remembered a word, that's all.
Do I even want to know?
Probably not.
Just say it and get over it. Get it over with. So what
happened with the last bit? Do we just not do it?
So that was an interesting fan fiction.
I don't think I can say that last word, to be honest, not on this.
You know what? That's more dolphin noises.
Yeah, just put in a dolphin noise.
More dolphin noises. It's quite hard actually finding like PG, like but funny cursed.
Yeah, no, I also just.
Anyway, what do you think about this? It's a new like section which I don't know if we're gonna do often.
Yeah, I think like I'll try and find.
It really depends if we find something good to narrate and read. It doesn't necessarily have to be a fan fiction. It could be like, I've seen a couple of these like AI written like scripts, which are kind of
like, even those go a bit like slightly non-PG.
Yeah. So it really depends if we find something suitable. But yeah, if you like it, just tell us and we'll do more of it. But for now, thanks for listening to this podcast. We release an episode every 2 weeks on Friday, available on most podcast sites such as Spotify, Apple, YouTube, etc. Thanks for listening.
And YouTube as well.
And we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Ciao.